G'day, it's fugitive Australian journalist Shane Dowling from the website Kangaroo Court of Australia. Now on Tuesday the 2nd of August 2022 I'll be publishing an article on Jennifer Lugsdin and the fact that the New South Wales Independent Commission Against Corruption are having a very close look at her and her appointment to the Investment New South Wales, which is a department that John Barilaro was overseeing. Her involvement, potential involvement in John Barilaro getting the New York job. Also, in a minute we'll have a look at video of Jennifer Lugsdin on the night John Barilaro is alleged to have assaulted a cameraman and smashed his camera, because there's video evidence there that suggests that if the New South Wales Police are investigating John Barilaro for assault, which the media report they are, well then they'd obviously be investigating Jennifer Lugsdin as well, because you'll see on the video she's attacking the cameraman.
Good evening. Former Deputy Premier John Barilaro is now being investigated by police for allegedly assaulting a cameraman. Mr Barilaro says all he did was push the camera away, upset, he claims, at being treated like a criminal over his appointment to a $500,000 a year job in New York.
It's not New York, but it's not bad. Saturday afternoon at the Wharf Bar Manly, and the low-profile John Barilaro is spotted by fellow patrons. 4 hours later, he emerged.
Mr Barilaro, Channel 7 News, are you disappointed that the Labor is blocking your appearance before the public inquiry?
Yeah, look, it's a night out, mate. It's all good.
For weeks, the former Nationals leader has been at the centre of a parliamentary inquiry and highly damaging allegations about his $500,000 New York posting, insisting he wanted to tell his side of the story, but not on Saturday night. At one point, the microphone was seized and thrown into the bushes. Then, when a second freelance camera arrived on the scene, tensions rocketed. Mr Barilaro paced towards him, lunges for the camera, his hands raised, but he walked. The cameraman followed, at which point Mr Barilaro's friend, believed to be a former media officer, also jumped in, followed by the 50-year-old. Freelance cameraman Matt Costello says he was shaken and astonished.
I was scared. You can't behave like that, no matter who you are.
The cameraman said Mr Barilaro, a former Deputy Premier and career politician, would have handled thousands of encounters with media and knows how to say no comment and keep walking. But from Mr Barilaro...
So I'm being absolutely intruded on and harassed. I'm a private citizen. I left politics last year.
But police are now investigating possible assault. Mr Costello says his camera was broken and his back's been injured.
All I did was push a camera out of my way, did not manhandle an individual.
I was there doing a job, as I'm entitled to do in a public place.
Now, we may as well deal with that first, that video. If you wind the clock back to 2 Saturdays ago, John Barilaro was out and about at Manly with Jennifer Lugsdin and a couple other people. Now, Channel 7 camera crew approached him. They grabbed their mic, threw it in the bushes. Then they were approached by an independent cameraman, and that's when the attack took place. Now, we never knew about that until a Monday when it went viral on social media. The ABC ran a story on it. Apparently it was already up on a Instagram page of someone's, but the first I knew about it, and most people knew about it, was when the ABC started publishing a story. And then the 7:30 news said, hey, we had a cameraman there on the Saturday night as well, the previous Saturday night, and we'll be publishing that video on the Monday night news, which they did. And since then, no other media have picked up on that extra Channel 7 video, which they could have and would have under normal circumstances. But there's a couple of questions there. Why didn't Channel 7 publish their video earlier? Did they think, oh well, there's not much to it, so we're not going to bother publishing it? And it's only when the edited version went viral that they decided to publish it, Channel 7. And why haven't the other media picked up on that extra video, which shows Jennifer Lugsdin attacking the cameraman as well?
Then, when a second freelance camera arrived on the scene, tensions rocketed. Mr. Barilaro paced towards him, lunges for the camera, his hands raised, but he walked. The cameraman followed, at which point Mr. Barilaro's friend, believed to be a former media officer, also jumped in, followed by the 50-year-old.
So if the New South Wales Police are investigating John Barilaro, Jennifer Lugsdin, they're investigating her as well. And what needs to be reported is motive. I've been running numerous articles since October, November last year on John Barilaro and why he really resigned, the rumoured multiple affairs, etc. And in December 2021 it was revealed he was in a relationship with Jennifer Lugsdin, and I've written more articles since. So one question that needs to be answered, doesn't need to be answered, but it helps explain why they attacked the cameraman. That's motivation. The fact that the Independent Commission Against Corruption is investigating John Barilaro for a number of reasons. His dodgy dealings with Angus Taylor. They're also investigating, or had a complaint, which I revealed a few months ago, in relation to John Barilaro perjuring himself last year in relation to intimate personal relationships he was having. Because the reason he gave evidence last year is because the ICAC was investigating the former Premier, Gladys Berejiklian, and her concealed relationship with the former MP, Daryl Maguire, and the financial benefits his seat was getting because of that relationship, or allegedly because of that relationship. And her barrister, Gladys Berejiklian's barrister, asked him about it, and he ducked and weaved. In effect, he committed perjury. She asked him about did he have any intimate personal relationships, and he ducked and weaved because everyone knows he was having multiple relationships at various times, and one of them was with Jennifer Lugsdin. So that is one of the motivations for Jennifer Lugsdin and John Barilaro attacking the journalists on Saturday a week ago. And also the fact that the New York job, Jennifer Lugsdin was bounced around to various positions within, firstly, directly working for John Barilaro in his office. And then he moved her over to Investment New South Wales, a government department, which he oversaw. Then in December 2021, when it hit the media that he was in a relationship with her, well, she quickly moved to a different government department that he never oversaw, and he wasn't in government at the time. So there's a lot of reasons why John Barilaro and Jennifer Lugsdin would not want to be seen together, would not want media, whether it be video coverage or photographs of them together. And that's why they would have been motivated to attack the cameraman, firstly Channel 7 and then the independent cameraman. And the reason it's important to have a good look at them attacking the Channel 7 cameraman and, or grabbing the mic and throwing in the bush, and also Jennifer Lugsdin attacking the cameraman, is because that undermines John Barilaro's defence. Oh, I didn't attack the cameraman, I just pushed the camera, I didn't manhandle anyone. Well, as I pointed out Monday last week in a video, he did attack the cameraman, and you can see that clearly. And when you put it together with them attacking the video, or attacking the Channel 7 cameraman and grabbing the mic and chucking it in the bushes, even further evidence of John Barilaro lying. They were in a very aggressive manner. They were trying to silence the media. They didn't want themselves put on video together, and they certainly didn't want any photographs of them together, because they've got multiple complaints that seeing them together could be very damaging and very dangerous for them. So that's why they've attacked the cameraman. Let's get back to ICAC. I'm about to pop up one document in relation to New South Wales ICAC. It's from ICAC. Now that letter is from a ICAC employee saying they are giving consideration to investigating Jennifer Lugsdin. Now I'll pop up further documents in the article I publish tomorrow. I'll have links to them so you'll be able to read them as well, further background of the documents to and fro from ICAC. I think by the end of the week this is going to be absolutely dynamite, starting to explode. As you would have seen in the news today, John Barilaro has been exposed again for setting up a dodgy interview process for him to be awarded the $500,000 US job. It was revealed that he wasn't the preferred candidate. In fact, another lady was, but they awarded him the job. Then afterwards they started tampering with the paperwork to make it look like he was a preferred candidate. One example is initially he only met 2 out of the 4 criteria above and beyond it. But when they edited the criteria a week after he had received the job and signed off on the job, they made it look like he actually met all 4 criteria. So someone in the government has done a huge dodgy there. As we all know, it is fairly obvious to everyone. So there'll be a lot more to come from this. I'll be setting up a John Barilaro page. I'll have a link in the article tomorrow, and I'll have all the articles, videos I've done on John Barilaro. A lot of it, the other media haven't jumped on board. Some of them have been jumping on board over the last week or so. Crikey did an article a week or so ago on Jennifer Lugsdin. Pretty well just covered the area that I've covered, or just a part of it, not all of it. But they did put questions to the Investment New South Wales, the government department, and they ducked and weaved. And I see other media starting to pick up on those articles too. And I raise that because it's very important. When you share my articles on Facebook, Twitter, etc., other social media, and you continually share them, it puts pressure on the other media to start running those stories as well. Because I'm running a lot of stories that others aren't running. As you'll see in the John Barilaro page I set up on my web page, on my website I mean. Other than that, I've also set up a new shop. I had one a few years ago. I closed it down because the provider stopped producing t-shirts. So you'll be able to, I'll have a link to the new shop in there. I've just a soft launch. I'll have a few pictures of the shirts. If you go to the actual page where you can order the shirts, it'll have a white box around the logo, but the white box, it doesn't actually get printed. I'm wearing one now. This is a blue one. I'll just stand up so you can see it. So that's how the shirts actually come out printed. They don't have the white box around them. Other than that, please share this video on YouTube, and well, you're already on YouTube. Share it on Twitter and Facebook, etc. Other than that, thank you for your time and have a good day.